One of my predators is a man named Chris Stafford. Just 2 nights ago, he wanted to beat on my vehicle, so I started recording. His friends took up all of the parking spaces around my vehicle, and Chris Stafford decided he was going to throw an apple through my window. What a gentleman, huh? That's what a stalker really is. Chris Stafford, that's a stalker. Chris Stafford is the kind of guy that goes and slanders your name when you tell him no. Chris Stafford is in this parking lot. I saw him pull in, which is the whole reason that I started this video. What am I going to do about it? I'm going to relocate. What else can I do? Every single person that I have gone to for help stopping this abuse had made me wish that I'd have blown my fucking head off instead. Every single one of them. But I keep having hope that one of them is not just full of shit and making empty promises. Oh. None of you care how much I'm abused. Not a goddamn one of you. If you're not suggesting that you and I make the call together, you are showing outright that you don't give a shit. Every single person in this fucking country knows how to call the fucking cops. Every fucking person in this country is taught from a young age that you're supposed to call the cops when you're abused. And all of them play fucking retarded. Oh, I don't know how, Well, how about you shut the fuck up and stop playing stupid? You do know how. If a woman tells you that she doesn't know how to turn in a predator, she's not your friend. You're a tool in her toolbox. When a man is abused and we go to our friends, we're treated like a nuisance and a burden, and this is why we kill ourselves. It's not that men are horrible, it's that women are horrible to men. And if they don't get what they want, they're taught that it's okay to destroy our lives. I don't like people because all people are liars. And the worst ones are neurotypicals. You don't stop to recognize that, well, I get bullied by the police. I get bullied by the public. I get bullied by people like Andrew Wolnez. Matter of fact, even the stuff that Eileen has done can be considered bullying. How about instead of huffing and puffing every time you see me, you just not? I'm not there to fuck you up or fuck up your life. And I didn't tell on you with the intention of fucking up your life. I told with the intention of getting fucking help. because obviously you weren't going to do it. Look how many women promised to help, and it just ended up that they were heroin addicts, meth addicts, or alcoholics. Then I'm told it's my fault for going to the internet. Oh, I deserve the abuse because I speak up on the internet. You're disgusting people. How many appointments did Susan miss before she finally actually showed up? 5 times. I need you to believe the evidence, which means you have to look at the evidence. I need you to understand what disabilities I have, so that you're not repeatedly making expensive suggestions that you're just going to treat me like shit for when I don't have the money. Krista knows that if she had an actual serious stalker, that she could turn it in. I know that I'll never be allowed without someone like Krista giving a shit, or her mom, or one of these preachers, all of these places that the cops wanted to pawn me off on, telling me where to get a fucking sandwich and have to sit with a whole bunch of fucking drug addicts who are predatory towards me. With all due respect, that fucking sandwich isn't fucking worth it. Gary, I like him. He's nice. He's also a Vietnam veteran. He also doesn't give a shit about the abuse that I endure. Instead of doing something about the abuse, he came out and yelled at me. Yelled at me because I was victimized. Well, that seems pretty fucked up. Why I should go in right now and let him know that that's the guy who was in the vehicle. Oh, there's a cop. They're about useless as tits on a boar. They're also literally all predators in this town. And I am not going the direction of that predator. Instead, I'm going to relocate to the parking lot that I just tried getting out of because Chris Stafford showed up. Fucking A, this is a pain in the ass. I also got to worry that Chris Stafford or his friends will do something harmful to my vehicle while I'm in there. I also have to be worried that I might not be able to make it to the store. I'm parking over on the other end of the parking lot. What good will it do? I don't have anyone to go in with me. When people say that the victim just needs to let it go, what does that result in? More abuse by predators. Take a look at what happened when nobody cared to help me turn in Waylon Lolotai. What did that man do? Repeatedly, over and over. America is a disgusting country. I know, I live here. I have to be afraid of the cops. I have to be afraid of Wolnez. I have to be afraid of Chris Stafford and his friends. I need someone to care enough to listen to what I'm going through before making suggestions, and nobody cares that much unless you got tits. And then we're all supposed to care. And every woman in this country knows that she can prey on that. At least I speak up. Somebody fucking has to. And if you want to pretend like you're a victim because I spoke up about you, well, that just shows what a horrible person you are. Good people don't harm the victims. And that's all you do is harm me. When you neglect at-risk or disabled adults who are being harmed, it results in more harm. When we are bullied by police for coming forward about abuse, and then we are forced to go back to those fucking pigs to turn them into themselves, all because no friend and no family member fuck this goddamn country and everyone in it. Obviously, I have to start recording and stay recording. I'm not going to be able to go into the Safeway. I might literally be stuck in my car for the next couple of days. I can't go to the police when I'm abused because they don't care. They'll lie to me so they don't have to do their job. If that doesn't work, they'll bully me and harass me. When I try to turn them in, they'll go slandering my name. And nobody gives a shit. I've literally been begging for help since I got to this fucking town. I've gone to every place that I've been told to go to. And the one thing that all of that has in common is I literally have never had one person go in and actually fucking speak up. Not Kara Scudder. Not Jason Scudder. Not Scott Scudder. Not Dallas Palmer. Nobody cares. If I called any of these women who pretended like they cared from restricted numbers over 100 times in one fucking day, I bet you someone would fucking care. That's the thing, except Natalie Bollinger slandered my name and nobody cares. Are any of these people going to take the time to actually look at how this started? No. Even Susan didn't give a fuck. She said, "Oh, I'm just reading the parts that Natalie typed." Well, that's pretty shitty of you. It leaves you with no clue as to the fucking context of any of it. How about take it fucking seriously? But nobody does that. Mandy Singer took advantage of me for over $500. I paid her $500 cash so she could get a computer so she could help me. And she didn't help me. Instead, she treated me like shit for going to her for help. It was fucking horrible. Meanwhile, she should have come forward from the beginning. And why didn't she? Well, at least she admits it's because she's a fucking junkie. It's not okay to treat the victim like they're a bad person for trying to get help. It's not okay that I have to be afraid everywhere that I go. Chris Stafford is a violent felon with guns. I'm nonviolent. I'm not a felon. And I have no guns. Whereas the police have committed felony after felony after felony against me. Let's say you're on vacation. You go to Memphis, Tennessee, and you're victimized in Memphis, Tennessee. Is it okay to force you to move to Memphis, Tennessee, so you can safely turn in a crime that's committed against you? If your disabled daughter or son is in Tillamook, Oregon, and they're being abused, same thing. They want me to move here. You get to see how literally thousands of crimes have been committed against me, literally tens of thousands at this point. But nobody gives a shit. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody gives a shit. If a woman says, "Oh, I'm afraid a man might rape me," you will go out of your way to help destroy that man's life. And when that man speaks up about it, you will pretend that he's a predator for speaking up. You will pretend that you're afraid for your life because he spoke up. These people who claim to care about me, I need them to stop and fucking listen. Not repeatedly talk over me. There is no safe place for me to go. After the cops assaulted me in 2018 over Natalie Bollinger's death, because they wanted to try to frame me as a violent person. And what did it turn out? Waylon Lolatai was the one who was violent. Where was I sent when I tried to turn him in? Clearview Behavioral Health, and they've killed 2 people so far doing what they did to me. Not that any of you care. If you're going to help me, you need to stop and listen. You need to actually make the time to listen, not pretend to care because you're working. Because if you're saying that you can't turn in abuse against an at-risk adult because it happened 2 inches off of the property, that doesn't make you a good person. That makes you a piece of shit who's looking for excuses to do nothing. And any suggestion that you have other than helping to turn in that abuse will only result in that predator getting away and doing it again. I literally, fuck that statement. We'll just say it like this. Every single so-called friend that I had before Natalie was killed blew me off before Natalie was killed, did not care that I was being abused, wanted to talk over me. Literally not one of these pieces of shit has ever helped me to turn in these crimes. Ever. After Natalie's death, I had to depend on strangers and Natalie's predators, like Rochelle Shelley Campbell and Danica Garner. The police helped these predators to get away. The police helped these people to gaslight me, and you don't care. No matter how predatory Chris Stafford is, you don't care. No matter how predatory Andrew Wolnez is, you don't care. And no matter how many of these pieces of shit I am harmed by, you don't care. Stop blowing smoke up my ass. Stop pretending like you care. If you're not going to shut up and listen to understand, would it be that difficult for any of these people to take an hour after work to listen? No. How much effort would it take for them to call the cops immediately? It's pretty fucking easy. But if you're assaulted in their fucking parking lot, they're gonna blow you off. Many of the people who work here at the Safeway, who claimed I should go to them if I'm abused, let them know. I did let them know. And they blew me off as always. I don't feel safe here at Safeway. I don't feel safe at the library either. Because if I am fucking assaulted, both of these places have showed loud and clear that they're not going to do a goddamn thing about it. Now, if you go in there and you steal something because you're hungry, they'll call the cops and the cops will show up. How horrible is that? You don't care about at-risk adults being harmed literally every day, but you give a shit about a fucking 50-cent goddamn candy bar. Oh, it's $1.19 now or $1.79. Big fucking whoop. Is that fucking candy bar worth my life? Yeah. I don't need another fucking sleeping bag and another blanket and another pair of pants if you're not going to help stop the abuse that makes it so I'm stuck in this fucking bullshit. If you're not going to make any effort to understand a goddamn thing about me, you're not going to make any effort to understand my disabilities, but you can sure as shit exploit them, you're not a friend. I know a lot of the names of the people who work here at the Safeway. And when I have to speak their names on YouTube, I'll admit all of the nice things that they did. I won't hide those things. But I'm also going to tell about the horrible things that they did. Miriam said she would try to speak up before leaving. I see no evidence of that. I'm going to try driving over to another parking lot now. I'm not able to get ahead of my car. None of you care. You will just let people hurt me. Why did Andrew Wolnez assault me 7 times? Because Miriam didn't take it seriously. Because Christine didn't take it seriously. Don't get involved as a woman, ever. Don't try ordering us around like that woman did when I had to talk to Malcolm about the ongoing abuse. He's a store manager. That was assault number 6 or number 7. That's right. Because Miriam didn't give a shit enough to come forward with me. She said that she saw it. Well, that's fine, but did you help to turn it in? Did you try turning it in with the victim? Because if you didn't, you went out of your way to see it, the victim is harmed. I'm not allowed to show that I'm afraid. Or I'll get victimized like I'm being unreasonable or irrational. Meanwhile, a woman throws a tantrum whenever you tell her no. And you're a horrible person for telling her no. It's just like dealing with addicts. What's the difference between dealing with an addict and dealing with a woman? Nothing. If you're a man, they'll both take advantage of you. They'll both talk over you. They'll both make empty promises. And they'll both rip you off in the end. They'll both waste your time. And they'll both play it off like you're a bad person for telling on them. And if you record it, they'll pretend that you're a bad person for recording it. I shouldn't have had to. If you were good people, I wouldn't have had to. But Americans have shown that they're not good people. None of them. I cannot in good conscience think of myself as an American. Because all of my rights as an American have been marched right over. We need to stop helping women because they're not going to help us. And we need to get assisted termination of life legal for people like me. If you're not rich, 6 foot tall, and good looking, nobody cares, because nobody cares about anything anymore. Unless women say that we're supposed to. False charges. This is a men's issue. Women should see their fucking way out of it. We should not have to go to an entire generation of women who have been taught to be predatory towards literally everything with a penis. We should not have to go to any of them for help turning in abuse by women. Now, I did think about going inside of the building here and telling them about Chris Stafford and the other night again. But also the video from the other night, I went in and told him about it then when it happened too. I went to the person I was supposed to even. Not that it mattered. She's actually friends with Chris Stafford. She thinks he's a really nice guy. No, he plays nice guy. He's a used car salesman. That's the mentality he's got. When he realized that now that he works at, well, a building, the laundromat, that he can actually call the cops and they'll actually do something. Instead of doing the right thing, instead he started using that as a way to harm his victims. Like Amanda. Chris Stafford and his friends playing the shit that they did the other night. That's not fucking okay. And all these people that want to keep on buying me fucking sandwiches. You know what? I wouldn't need you to buy fucking sandwiches if you'd fucking speak up. The people that we're supposed to go to for help are the ones who are the most predatory against us. I've begged a lady here for help who said that she will help and she'll take a look, and I want to believe that she did. But if she did, she'd have made a call immediately if she cared. And she'd make sure that she goes in with me for my safety. It really doesn't take much to actually get this done. But good luck getting any woman to give a shit enough to actually take any real fucking time between spending an hour to find out what's going on and spending 100 hours arguing over the phone over the course of 7 fucking years. I haven't found a woman yet who actually gives a shit. They'd rather argue. Every single woman would rather argue. Now, when they interrupt the victim to ask 10,000 questions, this is how women show men that they have no respect for them. When they say pretty things, but then they do that, they're showing that they're just manipulating. They don't actually give a shit. They're pretending to care, kind of because they're expected to. Like Eileen. Nobody helps predators get away more than women. I've had a lot of women who told me about their predators, and I spoke up. And then they wanted to play like I had victimized them because I spoke up. Or, of course, they wanted to interrupt me. Instead of finding what's going on with me, they just want to talk over me and talk about themselves. How about please see me as a person and fucking listen? Or help me to get assisted termination of life legal for me. None of you actually give a shit if I'm harmed.